Hey family, it's Tasha from MAMABEAR Prepping. I hope you guys are well. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. We're just going to get right into it. Get your drink, pull up. Let's talk about it. We are going to talk about these warnings, these last minute warnings that elites, that cities, that entities are giving us and giving the people to get ready. Like these BS PSAs that are happening in New York. Like this last tweet, I don't even have Twitter, but this last tweet that's going out from their emergency people in New York telling them, hey, get your go bags. Now, off of first just jump, you guys, listen, entities like this, if you go on their web pages or if you do a search, they put out this information all the time, right? This isn't the first time. They put out information about getting your evacuation bags together. This is what goes in them. Here's, a BS list of emergency supplies that you should have in your emergency home kits, right? All of that information is there, and from time to time they send out warning, they send out updated brochures, pamphlets, whatever, right? From zombies to, nuclear war, to basic emergencies, to hurricanes, fires, you name it. These different entities will put out this information. So it's not surprising to see that they're putting out information. What's concerning is the timing of them doing it with the PSA, okay? These elites, I think that they've had a very, very long time to get ready, okay? This thing that's going on in Russia has been happening for months and months and months. And it has been downplayed, because it's just like when the pandemic hit and we couldn't find things. And at first they were telling us, don't use those fancy masks, they won't work. Because they realized people panic and start buying stuff, and then even the professional people couldn't get it. And I'm sure the elites couldn't get it, couldn't procure it, because everybody and their mother was trying to get it. It's the same way with this. They've been swallowing up the land. They've been getting the supplies, swallowing up the CBR nuclear supplies, right? The gear, the MREs, the food, the water, right? The seeds, the wheat, all this stuff, okay? They've been getting this stuff. Governments, countries, elites, right? They've been preparing. And I think that it's silly now, last minute, to be giving the people these silly warnings, these last minute warnings. But they're serious warnings. But these silly last minute warnings about, prepare and half-assing what they're telling people, and they're not really telling them much at all. And to me, that's really, really irresponsible, okay? So how do we prepare? Should we be concerned? I've said from day one, war's coming, right? I think the stuff in Russia is going to spill over. It's just a matter of time. It is going to keep going. This is not going to just shut off like a valve. He's going to keep going. This is going to keep escalating, and it's going to turn into more. I don't know how far and what more means, but it is going to be more. I think that, my gut tells me at some point it is going to go past into NATO. Okay, it is going to go a little bit further. That gets us even more involved. And then you guys know, you've probably been paying attention to China, man. I hate the fact that China is bolstering up again. They've been saying, look, leave Taiwan alone, leave Taiwan alone. Of course, we're not. This whole Pelosi thing and her going and them warning, don't do it. Don't let her come over here. I have no idea why they're so upset with her going to Taiwan. They are really, really in a hissy over her going. And so I'm 50-50. Part of me is like, no, send her. Ain't nobody gonna tell us what to do. But then on the other hand, it's like, are we really gonna play these silly games and send her, knowing that, we're possibly starting some stuff, right? But we kind of like to do that. And that's the messed up part, right? We like to be in other people's Kool-Aid, right? We like to be in the playground, walking around, talking about, I'm here. Like, we like to do that, okay? Our country likes to do that. We like to walk around, let people know we're here, and that we want to play. And I laugh at it all, but because it's serious stuff. It's very serious stuff that they have been preparing for, and we're literally going to be left behind to take care of yourself. And so, like, what do you do? Okay, baby, you pray. It's what you do. You pray to God. for guidance, for wisdom. And there's a couple things you keep doing. You keep getting your house in order. Okay, I can't stress that enough. Get the things in your home in order. Keep getting the things you need. Keep filling holes. Keep getting organized. Keep doing inventories, filling those holes, getting your water, getting your foods, getting your meds, right? Getting your holistic stuff, your backups to stuff. Get yourself some options, right? Preparing for blackouts, for grid down. Prepare for our utility, because the thing with war is you don't know how that's going to affect us. China, that's a huge economy kick in the gut to us if we go to war with them, because everything we buy is from China. Everything. Okay. Yes, I get it. If you're somebody who's very, very conscious about looking at stuff and making sure you're not purchasing anything from overseas. But the problem is baby, you're still buying from China, because there's pieces and parts, okay, that probably came from China still. So listen, potato. Let's just understand that it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt if we go to war with China. And that's not even discussing the actual military type stuff that could happen, the actual combat part of the story, right? That's just the economy side, the money side. It's going to be nasty. The supply chain side, we're already working ourselves into a famine, and it's not going to be pretty. And when you throw war in a major country into that, what's also scary is them doing it at the same time, right? And then God forbid that they get together and decide to collaborate in any sort of way. Okay? And they kind of are in a lot of, I don't know if they're doing things together, but they are doing things oddly at the same time, which should be concerning to people, right? So getting your house in order, getting it ready for fallout. Where would you go if there was nukes that dropped? Where in your house would you go? Getting that area ready, at least knowing where that area is ready. How could you position, at least furniture to make some sort of barrier? What are the minimums that you have? Okay, I get it. We don't all have money to do all these things. I get it. There's stuff I want, and I will tell you, hey, you need this. This stuff I don't have. Okay. We're not all made out of money. I understand that. I do understand that. Okay. And for those of you too that, I've been getting messages lately about I'm visiting your page again, and I see you're doing the same stuff. You're spewing the same fear mongering stuff. You're spewing the same stuff. It's the same old shit you're talking about every single day. Yes, baby. Well, guess what? Keep it pushing. If you don't like it and you don't want to be here and you don't want to get on the boat and pay attention to what's going on and prepare, then keep it pushing. Watch somebody else, right? Go somewhere else, because there's actually people here that do want this stuff, that still need this stuff, and it is what it is. I'm gonna keep talking about this stuff because it's important, and it's stuff that we need to continue to stay focused on and get done. Okay, let's see what else. The other really important aspect of your home, which a lot of you probably know what's coming, and that's fortification, getting it locked down and getting it safe. A lot of scenarios have you staying home. A lot of scenarios, okay? Even nuclear war, a lot of that, if you haven't prepared and have some special bunker somewhere, where are you going? Where are you going, okay? If we're in a war, and you're like, I'm going to the safe place, I'm going to the safe zone where there's no nukes or whatever, it doesn't matter, we're going to live on the streets, we're going to live in our cars, whatever. I get that aspect of survival and just going off, right? But I don't understand when something as crazy as nukes is happening. That's happening everywhere. There is no safe place. You have no idea if you are literally walking into the next targeted area. You have no idea. And you can't trust anybody. So your best chance, because there's a good chance you're not making it anyway, right? There's a good chance we're not making it. But if you do, you need to you have a good chance staying where you're at, staying where where you have food, where you have water, where you have preps, where you have all the things to hopefully continue that survival, to hopefully dig in and make it through some kind of fallout, okay? Because you're not being able to take all those preps and that food and everything with you, more than likely. Even if you have a game plan of filling up the truck, and taking off, there's no way you're getting it all, right? And so that's wasted effort. That's wasted everything, okay? When your best chance to statistically is to stay where you're at, okay? Now, two, if you have to go, this little tweet about have a go bag, have a go bag. Again, I hate go bags because it's this false sense of protection. It's this false sense of like, you have a go bag, you have this magical bag, and you're going to just go off in the woods and you're just going to leave, right? Well, where are you going? Baby, where are you going? Okay. Most people couldn't walk a mile to save their lives, to literally save their lives. Okay. Those that can, where are you going? If you haven't made a plan and you don't have an actual location you're going to, what are you doing? Okay. And are you even safer in that location? Listen, if you're in a city, what I call a large city, like New York City, LA, Seattle, a large city, right? Yes, I would say the time is still there. If you've always had a dream to get out of the city or you've had this pressing feeling to get out of the city, make a change financially and do that, then do that, okay? Do that. Get out of the cities. But who am I to tell you what to do, okay? Because again, not everybody can just move like that. First of all, not everybody has money to do that. Second of all, people are tied down to different locations for different reasons, right? So I'm not going to tell you to do that, okay? But if the plan was to do that, hurry up, okay? But I would tell you, I worry about the little towns around us that, equal up to 50,000. I still worry about those. I worry about the people migrating from the cities, how close they get to the house. On their way, walking up to Canada, like, oh, Canada, we're going to go to Canada, right? People walking right by the house, going to Canada. I worry about the people coming up from Seattle and even these little towns. Don't sleep on little towns. Rural people, you need to make sure that you're ready to go, because do not have this false sense of, well, you are in the country and one, nobody's going to make it out there, or two, they're going to make it out there, but you're going to shoot them, right? The thing is, it's hard unless you have a whole community out there. It's very difficult to protect a large plot of land, right? And it's like anywhere. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you are up against a group of marauders and there's not that many of you, that's hard, right? I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's harder. Okay. Second of all, there's this misconception that like people who homestead and are rural or whatever, and that they're all hardcore and they got their weapons and they're ready to go and they're ready for people to come. They're not all like that, okay? Do not assume also that, hey, don't mess with the rural people. I get it. A lot of my rural people, y'all are ready, okay? You are ready. God bless you. I love it, right? But a lot of people are not. They're out there living a holistic, lovely life, kissing their animals, growing their food, living a beautiful life, and are still oblivious a little bit to what is happening in the world, right? The dangers that could come to them one day, and they are not preparing themselves for that. Or they're out there and they're living kind of this self-sufficient life and they're kind of living off grid a little bit, but then if certain things went down, they are not ready for it, right? They're not ready for full grid down. They're not ready for whatever it is, okay? They are resilient in a lot of ways though, okay? A lot of ways. But I just hope that everybody as a whole is preparing for wherever you live. Urban, suburban, rural, country, close to a city, close to a town, middle of nowhere, stat wise, do your chances get better the farther out you are, right? The farther away you are, the harder it is to get to your location. Yes, right? Because again, a lot of people can't walk that far or can't walk up a mountain, right? So those things do help you. But that shouldn't stop you from preparing and getting ready, right? If I lived in the city and I could not get out of the city, you better believe I'm making sure that I have everything there to lock in, right? In my location where I'm at, the best that I can, the best that I can with my abilities, right? And the group of people that I'm with, because it's crazy. But you should have an evacuation bag, right? You should have an evacuation bag for basic evacuations, short-term evacuations. There's a storm coming, a hurricane, a tornado, a fire, whatever's coming, and you're being told to leave. You should have a bag ready with clothes, food, water, some credit cards or some cash so that you can get a hotel, that type of thing. Your important paperwork, you should have that already, just off of GP, off of regular stuff that could happen, right? Regular stuff could happen in your neighborhood that they're like, hey, there's a gas leak, you guys have to leave. There's a gas leak, leave. Hey, you can't come back for a week because now they have to fix something, whatever. There's a water main break. There's a lot of reasons that you could be told you have to leave your house, right? So having that evacuation bag, and in my opinion, a robust car kit. To me, a robust car kit is almost like a full camping kit, right? You have a tent, you have a way to sleep, have shelter, food, water, clothing. You have all that stuff in your car ready to go so that you can go. Now, you could have that stuff in like totes in your garage, and then like, hey, if you guys had to go, you throw it in the car. But I like having that stuff in the car ready to go, because I can only imagine, and this is how I see it, I can only imagine something crazy happens and they're like, you have to go, and your heart's racing, and you're just trying to think about like, get your kids and get the animals and get the important paper, or get whatever it is that you're like last minute thinking, oh my gosh, we have to get this, right? The last thing you want to be doing is thinking about all those extra things that could help your quality of life traveling on the road, literally sleeping under a tree in your car or in a tent off the side of the road, or whatever you have to do because you're about to have to leave, right? So the more robust that kit is, the better. A lot of people think a car kit is just the safety stuff. That is part of a car kit. But I think that survival stuff's very, very important. And having a stage ready to go is important. And then you grab that evacuation bag and you guys are in the car ready to go. And it's just a matter of you getting the kids and the animals, and you guys get in the car and go. Okay? With evacuation and leaving and fleeing and whatever, we always say like 99% we're staying here. But for some reason, God tells us, you guys are going to push. You guys are going to, you have to leave, right? That's when I'll leave, is when God tells me. And if that's the case, we'll leave. But you have to do the pre-planning now. Where are you going for short-term evacuation? Where are you going long-term? Like, you're never coming back to your house. Where are you going long-term? Or you're not coming back to your house for a very, very long time. Or you don't know when you're coming back to your house, right? What are the routes? How are you getting to the location? Think the difference between heavy freeways. Heavy freeways are going to be migrant heavy, with people that are leaving, that are, whether they're driving, whether they're walking, hiking, caravanning, it really doesn't matter. Those main freeways are going to be crazy. So you have to know your routes. You have to know your back routes. You have to know multiple back routes, because with rural people, with other people in small towns and things like that, they'll start blocking off stuff so people can't get through to different locations with those back roads, those back routes. So you've got to have back routes, but you've also got to plan how to get around that stuff, obstacles, and then again, how to backtrack and go a different route if there's something's happened and, a town has blown their bridge so nobody will come through. Whatever the case, you've got to have multiple routes. You have to figure out gas. How are you getting to where you're going? Do you have the gas now? A lot of people don't have enough gas to get them to a long-term distance, right? So do you have enough gas to get to where you're going? Is there locations that you have gas or that you can get gas? What have you done to basically do that? Because now you're planning. If you have to ditch that car at some point, now you've lost all that stuff in the car, and now you're on foot, which makes, now it's going up. The danger is going up. Okay. So routes, mapping it out, figuring out where it's at. Having a map in case all your routes that you decided you were going to do, plan that you were going to do, don't work. You can get that map out and adjust fire. Okay. And then continued effort. You're not going to some magical place and everything is fine. You just know you're going to have continued effort of survival, right? You have to get somewhere. You have to still protect it. You're getting somewhere possibly where you don't have the food, the water, the protection, the supplies, the extra pew-pews, the extra seeds for that. you don't have the extra medicines, you don't have all the things that you had in your house, you're starting over, you're possibly with other people, right? And so it's a continued effort for you guys to continue to try to survive where you went. It's not gonna get, could it be a little bit better from where you just came from? Absolutely. But just know that doesn't just shut off as soon as you get there and there's rainbows and we've made it to the beautiful place we're supposed to, bug out to, and everything is fine now. No, it's continued. There's still craziness going on, right? And you just don't know what's going to happen, right? You really just don't know. You could go somewhere and it's worse. The grass is not always greener. Or it's not worse, but then it turns into the same situation, that you just came from. Okay. So that's why I say like 99%, you stick it out where you're at. Okay. And you pray for guidance. You pray that guidance of where to go and what to do, or hey, I'm ready for God, take me. If it's our time, it's our time, right? So this is the thing. I'm not scared, right? I think war's coming. I think it's gonna look something to the effect of something we haven't really dealt with before or seen before. I think our military is going to be challenged whenever this does kick off, especially if it's a duel with China and Russia trying to do two fronts. I think that we are going to be stretched, and I think that it's going to be a whole different game on how this looks. I think as the American people, continue to listen to everything, to watch everything. Yeah, are these small PSAs and whatever warnings? Yeah. Are they BS warnings? Absolutely. But they're a warning nonetheless. Is it too late of a warning, right? Because they've been preparing. I don't know, right? I don't know what you've done to get your family ready, but I would hope that you continue to do that. Stay calm, stay cool. Don't stress about it. Just continue to do the things that you ever do every day, right? If you're just calmly, cooling, doing your shopping, preserving your food, working your garden, doing your thing, just continue to do that, right? There's no need to freak out and do all these things. And when you have time, it's just like anything. They're projects, right? If you haven't figured out where you guys would go in your home to be safer from nuclear fallout, should you make it through some sort of nuke blast, then just take it as a project. Pick a day in the week that you're going to sit down and think that through. Think about it. Think about what you would do, where you guys would go, maybe what furniture and other barriers you would use. What would you do? Okay. And just treat it as another project. It's just a project. It's not something to freak out about. And you'll be okay. Right. It's heavy. It's heavy. And it's hard because I get excited. I get excited when I hear things, when I see certain things happening in the news. All these warnings, all these threats are happening right now, and that's something to take note of. But again, it could really honestly turn into nothing. But we know this conflict is coming. That's the thing is, we know this conflict is coming. We just don't know when. We know the conflict in Russia was coming. Now the question is, how far is it going to go? How far is it going to go, right? And that's the problem is I think it's going to go too far. And I think that the China stuff is brewing, right? It's not pretty. And so all you can do is continue to get your house ready, get your family ready, continue to stay prepared, and prep and do the things which I'm going to go do right now. I hope you guys are doing as well. And thank you for joining me today on this premiere and chatting with me in the chat. I really, really appreciate it. I do like this format with having the premieres every video, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with premieres. I am enjoying that. So thank you for, I guess, allowing me to come halfway with the live stuff. But I am enjoying it. So I'll see you guys next time. Next week, I'll see you guys Monday. And take care. All right. Bye.